Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to react to another Thomas and Friends audio stories by Kiefer Adams. This is episode 11 of season 7, the final season it is. And this one is called The Past is the Past. So, yesterday I reacted to the Funicular Railway one. If you want to see me check that out, I have it on the top right corner of your screen, and that was a pretty good one. Centered around Duncan not thinking that a new railway that's come is not going to work. Yeah, really enjoyed that. And well, the past is the past. So, years have passed since obviously season 2, where obviously we know what happened when Doc sent Diesel away about telling lies to him about the trucks. We saw it in that audio story recently, how Diesel came up with the names. You should match that out if you haven't done already. And well, things have passed. Obviously, we know in Kiefer's audio story series that Doc went away for 5 years, from the end of season 7 to the beginning of season 12, 5 years to work on his own line he did. During that time, Diesel became a permanent member of the North Western Railway. And well, Doug discovers, and well, it's safe to say that he won't be able to let go of the past so easily. He will, neither of them. So yeah, Diesel wants to prove that he's a changed engine. He does, like how we saw in that audio story, Dark Truth of Diesel. But doesn't look like Doc's going to be able to let go of the past so easily. A link for I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this.
The Past is the Past. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. Duck the Great Western Engine was glad to be back on the island of Sodor. He had been away on his old region of the Great Western Railway as one of his brothers had an overhaul. Duck was glad to be back. Edward and the Scottish twins were happy to see him again, and so was Oliver, who had fulfilled his promise of looking after Duck's branch line while he had been away. But there was one engine that Duck had not accounted for upon seeing again. One cool day, Duck was having a washdown. He had just taken a works train to mend the viaduct. As he was being washed, he heard a familiar horn and the purring of a diesel engine from behind. "So it's true," oiled a familiar voice as Diesel rolled beside Duck.
There we are.
"You have returned." "What on earth are you doing here?" came the sharp reply. "The Fat Controller sent you away." "He did," said Diesel. "But then, thanks to Mavis, I became a Northwestern engine because the other railway didn't want me." Duck rolled his eyes indignantly. "Yep, just as I expected. Another one of your devious lies so you could stay here. Honestly, I should have known this. Make yourself useful and go shunt some more trucks. Or even better, go tell some lies about me to them." Diesel wanted to explain, but he felt like he was wasting his time. He scurried away, while Duck snorted crossly. "That's a new one," he muttered under his breath. A little later, Duck was taking a coal train to the other side of the island. He stopped at Kelsthorpe Road, as he needed to top up more with coal. Nearby was a bunker, but his crew were worried. "I don't think we should be using this coal," said Duck's driver. "It doesn't look like it's been cleaned properly." "Of course it has," retorted Duck. As the driver and fireman worked, Thomas pulled up with Annie and Clarabelle. "Oh, hello, Duck," he said. "Are you all right?" "No, I'm not," he grunted. "Diesel passed through. Can you believe the whoppers he's telling now? Apparently he's a Northwestern engine." "But he is," insisted Thomas. "I was there when Mavis said to the Fat Controller—" "Oh, so you're part of this now as well," interrupted Duck.
Come on, Duck.
"Well, I should have known better from you, Thomas. You're the one to tell me to be careful of Diesel, and look what's happened." "Puh. What's his next lie? He's going to be a guaranteed connection on my line? Pull the other coupling." At that point, Duck's driver and fireman returned to the cab having filled his bunker with coal. Hissing with steam and already looking red in the face, Duck stormed crossly away before Thomas could explain. "Oh dear," he sighed. But now there was nothing Thomas could do, as Duck was soon out of sight. Meanwhile, Diesel was at Brendam Docks. Salty had been called away to another job, and Diesel had been called to do the shunting until he returned. He sat beside Cranky, waiting for the crane to unload some crates from a tramp steamer. As he waited, Oliver pulled in. "Oh," he said with surprise. "I didn't expect to see you here." "Oh, great," said Diesel. "Another Great Western engine to belittle me." Oliver was surprised. "I'd never do that, Diesel," he said. "Then kindly tell Duck to mind his attitude if I see him again," he growled. "Oh, yes, of course," said Oliver thoughtfully. "You were sent away just as Duck was heading off to the Great Western region. Diesel, I have heard whispers about what you did, but I feel it's time you and Duck put the past behind you. It's not healthy for an engine to carry a grudge, you know." "And why should I?" oiled Diesel. "What's in it for me?" "You'll feel like a lot of weight's been lifted off your buffers," reassured Oliver. "I'm sure if I ever saw Duck, I'd tell him the same." At that moment, Cranky called from above. "Stop gossiping!" cranked. "Oliver, your trucks are ready. Be off with you."
Really?
"Just think about it, Diesel," whispered Oliver as he puffed away, leaving Diesel with a lot to think about. Duck, meanwhile, was not having a good day. The coal he had picked up from Kelsthorpe was burning horribly in his firebox. Black-smelling smoke was now billowing from his funnel. He was already as green as his paintwork. Stepney was up ahead.
I mean, wow. I mean, we're told about James being as red as his paintwork, but Doug being as green as his paintwork? Something I wasn't expecting to hear today.
Waiting at a signal. He had been working on the Fat Controller's railway throughout the summer and was now heading back to the Bluebell Railway. He gasped with surprise when Duck limped to a stop, finding himself being unable to go any further. "I told you not to take that coal," said Duck's driver firmly. But all Duck could do was groan. "Stepney," called Duck's fireman, "we've got a bit of a situation. Can you find someone to come and help?" "Don't worry," whistled Stepney. "Leave it all to me." He set off at once. Stepney was lucky to catch Edward at his station. He was just about to depart with a goods train for the docks.
These was going to be the end
at present, but promised Stepney he would find an engine at Brendam to help Duck. When he arrived, Edward was lucky to find Diesel shunting a train of oil tankers for Neville. "Oh, thank goodness you're here," panted Edward. "Duck's broken down on the main line. He needs your help." Diesel stopped and glared. "Not on your life," he scowled darkly.
"Oh, not on your life." Is that a Cars reference right there? That was a Cars reference when Mike McQueen said, "Not on your life," when he was secretly hating his sponsors Dusty and Rusty.
Edward was cross, but held firm. "If this is about what happened all those years ago, Diesel, it's time to put the past behind you," he said firmly. "He may have played a trick on you, but that's nothing to what you did. You told lies about him to the trucks and had him falsely sent away. Duck is out there on the main line, and there's no one to help him." Diesel glared. "And don't you worry about the shunting here," reassured Edward. "I will look after it for you until you come back." "Very well," said Diesel reluctantly. He hurried away and set off to the rescue, although secretly he was rather nervous upon facing Duck again. By now, Duck's crew had managed to clean his firebox, but Duck still didn't feel like going any further. At that moment, a horn sounded in the distance. Duck was about to groan and exclaim that he knew who it was when Diesel rolled up. "Do you need some help?" he offered. Duck was surprised. "Well, I never expected a call from you. It's what we Northwestern engines must do," said Diesel, forcing a smile. Duck smiled back. "You really are one of us now, aren't you?" he asked.
He definitely is.
"I try my best," said Diesel honestly, as he went to couple up to the front of the train. "If it wasn't for Mavis, you'd be scrapped on the other railway," finished Duck, realizing that for once Diesel was telling the truth. "I'm sorry, Diesel. I didn't mean to be so rude." "That's all right. I'm sorry for the devious deeds I caused." "Any chance of a truce?" asked Duck hopefully.
Truce.
"Between you and me, of course," replied Diesel. "Don't tell the others. It might spoil my image." Duck chuckled in agreement as
Wow.
Diesel took him and his train for the rest of the way. As Diesel pulled Duck towards the end of the line, he smiled to himself. Oliver was right, he thought. It feels good to have some weight taken off my buffers.
Yep.
And Duck thought exactly the same thing.
That's it. There we are. So that was a great audio story right there. It's great to see Duck and Diesel put the past behind them. It is so, because after what they did to each other all those years ago, back in season 2, I kind of see why Duck and Diesel had grudges against each other right there. Particularly Duck after Diesel did that trick against him. I mean, it was good to see Thomas, Stephanie, and Edward in the story. Mention of Neville it was. And like I said, just great to see Duck and Diesel put the past behind each other. If this was in season 12 or season 11, it would have been a great end to both Duck and Diesel's model journey in the model series. It would definitely would feel like a conclusion. It would. Yeah, like I said, it was great to see Duck and Diesel put the past behind each other. I like how Doug thought Thomas was in it as well. I mean, I kind of was a bit annoyed that Doug thought it was another lie, but then again, considering what Diesel did to him those years ago, can you really blame him? Can you really blame Duck and Diesel for still holding grudges against each other for what they did to each other years ago? Yeah, I can't really blame them for being how they are. And well, they finally put the past behind each other. So going forward, they now have a truce. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. A good audio story. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's one, Horsing Around, which is an origin story for Smudger it is. So looking forward to that. If you want to see my previous Thomas reaction was an audio story or Trains adaptation, I will play this up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like off me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought this audio story I reacted to. Also know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring the bell to get notified. If I upload new videos in the post community tab, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!